Welcome to the MA104, which is Fundamentals of Algebra. This course is designed to prepare you for college algebra, basically. So a lot of the material you're going to see in this course, you're going to see again when you get to college algebra. We're going to go through a lot of the first few weeks of college algebra just at a slower pace, essentially. So I'm Stephanie Capus. You can just call me Stephanie. Don't worry about trying to spell or say my last name. So obviously I teach math here. I am full-time instructor here, so I'm available during the day. You can contact me with Google Hangouts. The Remind tool, that is when you go into the classroom and it has that little thing about Remind. That's a way to contact me via text message. So if you sign up for that, you can send me messages from your phone. You can reply. I will be sending announcements out through there, limited characters, so they're not going to be like my full-blown emailed announcements, but little announcements like reminders, just, hey, live session coming up. Oh, here's a link that might help you, those kind of things I'll be sending out through there. And you can reply to any of them, and so it's sort of like texting, so that's a way to get access to me basically anytime. Obviously, if it's, I'm asleep or something. If I'm not available, I won't answer it, but I will answer it as soon as I have a chance. So this first session that I'm doing is just to show you around the course. I'm actually going to present I'm going to do a pre-recorded video on week 1 to talk about the week 1 things. I don't want to make these like super long, but the most important thing to do on day 1 is to figure out how the course works, what the expectations are, what you need to do for the rest of the course. So that's what I'm going to do here. That's where I'm going to answer all of your questions. And then I will email out a separate video about just week 1 material and what to expect for week 1. So that's going to be separate because I don't want to take too much time, and actually kind of showing you around the course takes a lot more time than you may think. So that's essentially the plan. So I will get started by sharing my screen. I always set up a PowerPoint with these, and then you have access to the PowerPoint afterwards, so then you can download or print out whatever you need to do. So you will have access to the PowerPoint as well. So let me share my screen. Sometimes it takes a little bit. So this is taking a little longer than usual. There it goes. Okay. So, welcome. Oh, not really tonight. I usually do these in the evening. That's why it's tonight. Today, I should say. So I am going to go over, basically, if you want to know how to print PowerPoint slides, how you can do that. I'm going to go through navigating the course, the textbooks, kind of show you around the textbook, how to use a textbook, that sort of thing. Resources, and then the course expectations, because those are important things for you to know. So let me just, I can get my pen working. I have a stylus, and usually, oh, maybe the battery died. Oh, the battery must have died. I can't, oops, that is not what I wanted to. I was just testing it out. All right, so normally I write on my screen, but I think my battery died, so unfortunately I cannot do that at this time. So we'll just go on. Okay, so if you have a PowerPoint and you want to print these slides for your own benefit, or if you want to print any of the slides for the topics that I do when I actually teach the material, when you are in PowerPoint, you can go to print. There's an option that says full page slides, and if you click on that, you can change it to hand, so you can decide how many slides you want to see on a page. So instead of printing 1 slide per page, you can change it to print multiple slides per page, which is easier if you're going to keep this for your notes. So one thing about the way the course is set up that's different from other courses is that we actually have an instructor, which is me, and a grader. So I am your main point of contact. I am your teacher. I'm doing all these live sessions. I hold office hours. I can do one-on-ones with you. I'm going to be in the discussion forum with you, emailing you, grading the discussion forum, answering all your questions. I am your main person. But we do have graders, and they are going to be grading the quizzes, the exams, and the assignments. And they're going to be leaving feedback on your those things that you were turned in. So if you get feedback on something and you're confused about what it means, email me, and then I will try to figure it out myself, or I will interface with the grader and figure out what the grader meant by the feedback. So just any feedback you get is from the grader. So just, if you don't understand it, just let me know, and I'll try to interpret that or provide more detail if I need to. So we've got that. It's different, but it works for the math classes. So let's start with navigating the course and where you can find it, because I've done a little shuffling of what the course looks like to try to make it a little bit easier. So this is what it looks like when you log into the class. So I have it set up so that you log in to the announcements page instead of the normal course home page, because I feel like announcements are they're more helpful, basically. So this is what you see when you log in. So the very first thing you'll see is my reminders. And if you want to get text reminders, or if you have the phone app, you can also get email reminders. You can set up a phone app for this. The tool is called Remind, and then you can get on your phone. You would just click the Join Class. A lot of people have done that already, which is great. I know a lot of high schools and elementary schools use this app, so if you already have an account, if you have children and you use this, then you'll be familiar with how this works. So if you want to get those, you can click Join Class. The actual reminders will be in this box. So the first thing you'll see when you log into the class are these little reminders. So you can see at the time that I took this screenshot, it was a reminder about this live session. And so these are limited characters. They're not going to be very detailed, but this is where I'm going to be, oh, here's the recording for the live session I just had. Or here's when our next live session is. Or, oh, all work is due tonight, make sure you turn things in. Little things like that. So those will all be up there, and then you can scroll to see past ones. If you scroll down on this screen, that's where the rest of the announcements will be. Every announcement that's below this point, I email your Grantham email. So you should definitely be checking your Grantham email every single day, usually more times a day, so that you can get those announcements. I try not to send more than one a day, but all of those will be when you scroll down. So just make sure you actually scroll so you can see all of those announcements. I recommend setting up your Grantham email to your phone so that you get those. It's because our Grantham emails through Gmail, all you have to do is add another Gmail account, and you type in the information with your Grantham email address, and it will take you to GLive to sign in, and once you do that, then you're all set. So I recommend having Gmail on your phone and connecting your Grantham account. If you have Google Hangouts on your phone, you can also do that, and then that's a way to chat with me as well through Google Hangouts. So I do recommend doing those. So this is what you see when you first come in, log into the class. Are there any questions so far? If you have a question, you can chat in the chat box. Okay, I don't see anybody chatting. Feel free to start chatting at any time in the chat box, and I monitor that. So if you have questions, you can feel free to stop me. There's even a little bottom of your screen where you can raise your hand if you have a question. Okay, so that's the main screen. I want to focus on the left menu bar there. So I know that this is kind of small, but of course, when you can print it out, you can print this out a little bit bigger. So this menu bar I've reorganized a little bit, just so you know. So it will look different from your other classes. So first, there's the instructor page. And I think I can zoom in a little bit here. Yeah. So at the top, instructor page. So if you click on that, that's where you get my bio. That's where my office hours are listed, and my contact information, such as my email address, my office phone number, that sort of stuff. So that's found on the instructor page. Next, underneath that is the syllabus. So the syllabus is really important because that's where you find out how much all your assignments are weighted. So like how much quizzes are, all of that. And then it also has our grants and policies. So it's important to figure out to know what all of that is. So definitely check out the syllabus. Now underneath the syllabus is the link that says connect now with a live tutor. So that connects you to tutor.com, and there are tutors available 24/7. So it doesn't matter what time you're working on your math, tutors are available. So that is a great resource to use if you're working really late at night, because I'm a morning person, so I will be in bed. And I know a lot of people are working after work, and so sometimes I may not be available. So if you need help, tutor.com is available. You do get 4 hours a month, but you can request more time. They're best used if you have a specific problem. So you would go to them if you say, okay, I'm having problems with this question. And so the best way to do is to take a screenshot of the question or to upload the assignment to them. That way they can see how everything is formatted. If you try to type out the math in the chat box, usually what happens is that it gets typed out incorrectly or it's misread, and then they tell you, based off of what they are reading, and you may end up having like an error or something because they're not seeing it exactly. So screenshots or uploading the assignment itself are best for them to be able to see the full question and help you fully. So that's how I recommend to use tutor.com. So use them for specific questions. If you need more help on topics, like you're like, I just don't understand the order of operations, I don't know where to start, that's where you would reach out to me. Then I could provide you some resources. I have a video already out on order of operations, or we can set up a one-on-one if none of those are working. So that would be your other alternative there. So next on the line, course expectations. So that's always going to be there. That's where I'm going to be listing the late penalties, how you need to submit your assignments, and other expectations for the course. So I would definitely make sure you read through that. And if anytime you don't remember what they are, you can click there and see what those are. So that's in the first little bar. Next is the content bar that I've basically just labeled that as content. So that's where everything is in the course. So you've got your weekly content, and that's where you want to go first, is click on the weekly content and then go through each week by week. There's a shortcut to the ebook, a shortcut to discussions, and the shortcuts for assignments and quizzes and exams. But I do not recommend you use the assignments and quizzes and exams links. I recommend you go everything through weekly content so that you make sure you're not missing anything. So under that, we have my grades, which right now you have nothing in my grades, so there's not really anything to talk about there. I can go over that once things are graded and you actually have a score, so you know what that means. Underneath that, I've added I've organized it as resources so that you can see these are all the resources available for you. So the very first link is live sessions and instructor videos. So that's where all of these recordings are going to be hosted. So all the live video recordings are going to be there. They're also going to be on YouTube, so you can also see them there. All the PowerPoints are going to be posted there. And then previous live videos. So I already have videos in there from previous classes that I've taught, previous sections. And so since they're already recorded, I try to record something new each term so I can have more and more videos. So those are already available to you. So there's already a video on order of operations in there that you can watch. Next is supplemental materials. So that is always in every class. I just kind of reorganized it a little bit. So in the supplemental materials, that's where there are additional websites and videos. These are not necessarily things that I have created, but these are coming from outside on the web. So The live sessions instructor videos are things that I have created. Underneath that are from outside the web. So that's good if you're still struggling. You say, well, maybe there's something here that will help me out. Next, we have tutorials. So zooming in there, that is a shortcut. I have the tutorials that are in the supplemental materials, but this is a shortcut to that folder. And so I have tutorials on using Blackboard and how to type math. So sometimes you have to type math up in the discussion forums, and so there are tutorials there. And typing math, if you want to type up your assignments, then you might need to know how to do that in Microsoft Word or Google Docs or something like that. There are also tutorials on using Blackboard. So the tutorials are, how do I view my feedback on assignments? How do I review my quiz? How do I submit work? Those kind of tutorials are there as well. So I recommend checking that out. Underneath that, we have the suggested time management schedule. So a lot of things when you take online classes, everything's presented to you at once, and it's usually very overwhelming because it's like, where do you start? So to help you out, I have created a time management schedule. I decided, okay, do these things on Wednesday, then maybe do these on Thursday. Obviously, your schedule is different. This will not work for everybody. This would be like, the perfect schedule if you had no other things in your life. But it gives you a starting point, and so you can download that and then modify it based off of your own schedule and when you're working and that sort of thing. So at least, if nothing else, it gives you an order to do all of the work so that you know where you should start. And then the last one I want to point out here, this is new. There is a link now in the classroom that says send emails. So that can be used to email me or email others in the class. So that's a new resource for you. You don't have to go to Gmail and try to type in my email address. You can just hit that send email button directly in the classroom. So this is a slide you may want to print out. Who knows? Do you guys have any questions on the organization and where things are located right on this slide here, or where they would be in the class? Okay, so this is a screenshot of what you would see when you click on the live session instructor videos link. So when you click that from the resources, this is what you would see in the main thing. I cut out the menu and all that. So at the very top, I have the link to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you would prefer to get notifications through YouTube, you can set notifications on, and when I upload a video, you can click to subscribe. And then you can also, once you're on my YouTube channel, you can see all the other past videos that I've had. I've got playlists, I've got a whole bunch of stuff there. On the underneath that, I have two pictures. So the one on the left is to join the live sessions. That basically takes you to where you are right now. So that's the shortcut. So you can bookmark that. That link is going to work every time. Otherwise, if you don't want to bookmark it, you can just click that picture each time, and then that will bring you to where you are, this Blackboard Collaborate session. To the right of it is a link to take you a folder to where all the videos and the PowerPoints are stored. So you click that, and then you would get a folder showing all of those things. And then underneath here, I tried to make this go to the left. For some reason, it didn't want to move to the left. It wanted to be the right. But I have a calendar, my Google Calendar embedded, where you can see the office hours and when live sessions are scheduled. So far, I've only scheduled out for week 1 because I wanted to make sure people had a chance to fill out the survey so I can schedule out for the rest of the term. But you can scroll that. You can look on monthly view, agenda view, but at least you can see when things are added, and then if you click on one of those, you can add it to your own calendar. So that's what's under live sessions and instructor videos. Here is a screenshot of supplemental materials. So I have tons of things here. What I wanted to point out is in this box, I have 2 links, one which has tips for studying math and one which has time management tips. So I recommend today checking those out, reading those resources. The study math tips will help you with the discussion, just, and time management tips, just, thinking about what you need to do for the class and like, oh man, okay. Yeah, maybe I haven't done math in a while, at least so I do recommend you check those out. And so when you click on each of those, this is what you see. So on the tips for studying math, there are 4 links in there. How to study math, 7 tips for solving math problems, how to study math in college, studying for exams, and steps for studying a math test. So those are helpful. Under time management, I've got several time management tips, some for students, some are just general, and then I have another link to the time management schedule. So if you're not sure how to manage your time, these are great resources. So are there any questions on anything so far that I've presented about like the class? I'm going to pull up the classroom and show it on my screen as well, just to show you a few other things. I just have to wait for Blackboard to load. Okay. So it's currently loading. So this is the screenshot. I do want to show the syllabus, so I'm going to click on syllabus. And then let's just view a web. Okay. So in the syllabus, you can see it has a schedule as well. But this is not in any particular order of like that you should do things. So the way math works is you really want to do it a section at a time. You don't want to read 6 sections of the textbook and then try to do everything. So you want to do it a section at a time. So that's why I recommend working with my suggested schedule. But this at least gives you an idea of tasks that you have to do. So if you scroll, this is the grading policy. So this is important so that you know how your grade is calculated. So discussions are 30% of your grade. Assignments are 30% of your grade. We have quizzes and exams, so those are total 20%, and then your final exam is 20%. So that gives you an idea of where you might want to focus your time, just so you know that how things are calculated. And then we have estimated student workloads. 3-credit class is supposed to average about 15 to 18 hours on average. It may take you less, it may take you more, it depends. But this is just an estimate, so that can help you with your time management as well. So that is the syllabus. Let's see, course expectations. This is, I'm going to go over this, but here's the link, has all my expectations there. Connect now with the live tutor. If you do click on it, it comes up, we have to wait. Usually it's a little quicker than this. I think Blackboard is just being a little slow today. So it tells you how much time you have remaining. You pick your topic, you pick your subject, type your question. I recommend taking screenshots and attaching a file. You can choose somebody who has chat. You can schedule if there are certain tutors that you prefer. You can kind of bookmark them and then see when they're available and try to schedule time with them. So when you do that, yeah, it's been really slow, but that will allow you to schedule time. And then there's also practice quizzes. These practice quizzes don't count as your tutoring time, but there are practice quizzes available, so that's something that you can work with as well. Okay, that's being too slow, so I'm going to just go back to our classroom. Okay, so I do want to show you around the weekly content. So this is where you want to go. So this is where, so week 1, you want to click on mathematical operations, and you want to make sure that you scroll all the way down so that you're not missing everything. So everything is just all on this one screen, has all these videos, tutorials, discussion board, practice assignment, weekly assignment, quiz, all of that. So make sure you're scrolling all the way down so that you don't miss anything. I'll have a separate video on week 1 that goes into details about all of these things that you need to do. But I just want to make sure that you know how to find those things. Live sessions and instructor videos. Yeah, Blackboard is usually not this slow. This is weird. Okay, so this looks like the screenshot. So here's the calendar, and you can see when things are. You can click here, and then you can copy it to your own Google Calendar so that you can get reminders. So you can see that I'm going to do one 7 p.m. tomorrow on fractions. People are really, they struggle on fractions, so that's why I'm going to do a set on that. When I click the live session recordings, so this is what you'll see. So right now there's a course introduction and introduction week 1. This is from August. I'll be replacing this video with the current video, but I left the old video in there just in case somebody wanted to preview it early. And then everything is organized by week. So you would click on week 1, and then you can see that I've got a video on the order of operations. So I made that last term, and I'm going to be adding more videos. So I'll add in the fractions video once I record that, and then I'm going to do another one on adding, subtracting with negatives, and so all of those videos and then the PowerPoints will be stored here. So you just click to download the PowerPoint. So definitely check that out. Supplemental materials. So, you know, I had a really small screen. I had to try to make everything. This is a cool video. I recommend watching this, but you can just click all of these links and set a time management schedule. So I'm going to just download that so you have an idea of what it looks like. So it says your download will start shortly. If not, click here, and then it's on the bottom, waiting for that resolve. Okay, let's open that up. And it opened on my other screen, so let me drag this over. So this is what the suggested schedule looks like. I just have 4 weeks, Wednesday through Tuesday, and I've put each reading, so like a section a day or roughly, which video goes with each section, practice problems to do for each section, and then when you should, you know, maybe work on your assignment or your quiz. So you can use this to help schedule out your time. So that's basically the other stuff in the classroom that I wanted to show you. So you can explore that on your own. Okay, so next I want to show you guys the textbook. So let me bring up, and I should, let's see, I already have the textbook open here. So the textbook opens in a Vital Source, and Vital Source does have an app that you can download so that you can have it for offline use. And so this is your table of contents. We are reading one section from the appendix, decimals and percents. You can click there, and then you can read through. Everything is all on one screen, so you just need to scroll down. Page numbers are given right here. If you want to skip to a page number, bottom left, you can type in a certain page number. So if I do 140 and hit enter, it's going to take me to page 140, which is right here. So you can explore, you can print. We're also going to be in chapter 1, so you can click there. I recommend checking out the study tips. There's also a guide to the text that tells you how it works. So there are study tips here. And then you can click on each section. Some sections have a little more things, like there's problem recognition exercises. To go to the section itself, you'd have to click on go to 1.5. So all of the odd problems in the text are available The solutions are available, but they're not in the text. So to see those, you need to go to the student answer appendix. So you might want to bookmark this so that you can do it more quickly. And it has the answers to all the odds. So to bookmark this, I can just click the little bookmark symbol right here, and then that way I have a bookmark that I can go to. And you can search the text. So if you're looking for specific problems, you want to click this search, type in your search. There's a notebook if you highlight in notes. There's labs with flashcards. I haven't really tried this out for the math classes. There's a table of figures of all the pictures, and then there's an actual separate link for flashcards, and you can make your own flashcards. So right now I don't think there's anything here because I didn't make any. So just take your time, explore the textbook. If you're not sure how to use an ebook, let me know. You can always, if you can rent a physical copy if you prefer that through like Amazon. Usually renting them isn't too bad if you prefer a physical copy, but everybody has access to the ebook. Are there any questions so far? Okay, so that's the textbook. Next are the resources. The resources I want to point out to you are calculators, basically, because a lot of people ask me, what calculator should I have? If you like to have a physical calculator, I use the TI-30X2. It's like $10. It's the most common TI calculator you see when you go to Walmart. Otherwise, you can use these online scientific calculators. These are all free. So Desmos is a great website. They have a scientific calculator, so there's a link right there. There's the Web 2.0 calculator, and Google has a calculator if you just type in calculator, and then one will show up on Google. So if you want to use an online calculator, these are completely free. You can go ahead and do that. And now the course expectations. Now that I've kind of showed you around everything, well, what do you need to know about like how to turn in assignments and everything? So late penalties. Yeah, and Jeanette, do you have a question? See that you raised your hand. You can go ahead and type it in the chat box. Or if you prefer to ask your question out loud, you can turn on your microphone. I don't see. I don't see any chatting. Well, if you have a question, you can type it in the chat box. Or email me if you don't want to ask in front of everybody. So the university late policy is 5 per day. So that is the late policy. If you anticipate having late work, if something comes up at work, or email me, and I'm happy to give a few extra days or to waive it, do less of a late policy penalty depending on the situation. So always email me. That is the university policy, 5% per day. I allow resubmissions of assignments. There is a 5% penalty. This does not include discussions or quiz, but I allow resubmissions because it's a great way to learn. So you can see what you did wrong, you get feedback, and then you can fix those things, and then you're learning, and that will help you prepare for quizzes. So I allow resubmissions of all assignments. So there's a 5% penalty, but let's say you got a 20% on an assignment, and then you fixed your mistakes and you got 100%, you now have a 95% instead of a 20. So that's a huge, huge thing, being able to resubmit your assignments. Online algebra solvers are not allowed for any graded work. I know there are tools out there that will solve equations for you. That is not allowed on graded work. You can use that to check your answers, but don't use that to do the work for you because you're not learning then. And I am checking for plagiarism. So on discussions, make sure everything you type is your words. Don't just copy and paste from the internet. You'll be explaining because you want to demonstrate your learning. So those are kind of the big expectations, things to know going forward. So they're questions. Okay, Casio FX 300 ES Plus. Let me look up that calculator and see what it looks like. Oh, that will be fine. That is perfectly fine. Yeah. So you can use that calculator, and that's actually a nice calculator because it does fractions visually. So yeah, and just a perfect calculator. Are there other questions? Is there a simpler calculator? So if I go back to, let me just show you, turn off my pen, and show you these calculators. Just trying to open the website right now. So I find the Desmos calculator is simpler. It has fewer buttons here. If you want to do it on, it has a button for squaring, other exponents, square roots. It's got your simple like adding, subtracting, and it can do fractions. So if you want a simpler calculator, the Desmos one here is a good choice. You can also do letters, and this is where your parentheses are. You guys won't need really anything on this screen for this class. Main screen is perfectly fine, so I can do 2 plus 5 and hit enter. Oh, I don't even have to enter. It tells me my answer right here. If I wanted to square the 5, I can click this button, and then it has that. So, and then I can clear. And then if you want to mess, if you need Braille, reverse contrast, those kind of things. So this is a simpler calculator. If you're willing to just use, the web, this has fewer buttons than maybe something you might buy. But you do want to make sure that it at least has a square root button. You've even got an absolute value button here, and then you want to be able to do exponents. So those are the 3 things. And then here, let's see, if I hit fractions, okay, 1/2. And there I've got a fraction. And then if I want to make it a fraction, I can hit this button, and then it'll convert my answer to a fraction. So I recommend this calculator right here. All right, go back. So Web 2.0 calculator is a little bit more complicated, but yeah, that's why I have those resources there. You're probably wondering, how do you turn it in math? So you do have to turn work for math, and so there are some requirements. So the assignments say to turn it on a Word document, and so that's why I have tutorials on how to turn things in a Word document. But I do want to point out that I also allow photos and scans. So if you don't want to try to spend all your time typing up the math, if it's taking too long, you can do paper and then take a picture or scan it in with a computer or printer or something like that. So just if you do take photos, you want to make sure it's easy to read. So you want to make sure that it's not blurry. The lighting is good. You want to make sure that your photos are in order. And we prefer, if you can put it all on one page, perfect. If not, then you can either insert photos in a Word document and save them that way and submit a Word document to make sure they're in order. Or there's this great website, jpeg2pdf.com, where you just upload your photos and then you hit convert and it will create a PDF for you. Just make sure that they're in order. And there are also phone apps like Genius Scan. You can download that to your phone, takes pictures and creates a PDF file. And then if you have the Blackboard app on your phone, you can then upload that PDF to Blackboard, or you can email it to yourself, and then you can download it onto a computer and upload. Otherwise, if you have access to a scanner, scan. But try to make sure everything's in order. it's legible. If it's not in order, or if we can't read it, or if things are sideways, it may be returned back to you and you might have to resubmit, because we do want to make sure that we can read everything. Otherwise, you are welcome to try to type it up in Word. Do make sure that your final answers are boxed or highlighted, and that you're numbering all the problems and everything. Just, it makes it a lot easier for the grader to figure out what's going on, and then it will also aid you if you're trying to study from your notes. So that's the assignment submission. So you have options for submitting work. You don't have to submit them typed up. Discussions, I just want to reiterate the discussion requirements, that there is a 75-word minimum. Your posts are due Sunday night, the main post. And you do have to do 2 reply posts to your classmates by Tuesday. The biggest thing I see people doing is forgetting to do the replies. So make sure you do those replies, that you reply to your classmates, and make sure that they're substantive. So substantive means that they actually like add to the discussion. So they're usually a few sentences long. You might be asking questions or reflecting on something somebody says, or challenging them, saying, oh, I think you have a mistake here. Here's what I think should be the next step. Make sure you're answering any questions that people ask you. But if you're just replying to somebody and saying, great job, that's not going to get you a lot of points. So since discussions are 30% of your grade, it's really important to make sure you are taking the time to reply to your classmates and doing a good job with that. So that was everything I had planned out for just, getting to know for the course. See, it's 10:43. This is why I didn't include week 1, and I'm doing that separately, because this is a lot of stuff to let you know. But of course, I'm going to send this out as a video as well, so you can review in your own time. If you can't remember something, you can review it again. Do you guys have any questions? Okay. If you do have questions, I'm trying to, since my stylus is not working, I'm trying to do this with my mouse. This is why I have a tablet for math. I'm trying my email. There we go. Oh man, I don't know how anybody, like, this is the thing with tutor.com, is if you're trying to type stuff, you have to use your mouse. It's really difficult. But this is my email address. So if you have questions, you can email me later. And hopefully this has been useful. Hopefully that you got information out of this that's useful. These live sessions are not required. These are just optional. They're not part of your grade. They're just something that I'm providing for you guys for additional resources. So you don't have to attend them live. I try to do them when people can attend live, because I do feel like there's a strong benefit to being able to ask questions immediately, especially when I start doing ones on certain topics. But they're not required. Everything will be recorded, and you'll have access to all of these afterwards. So thank you guys so much for joining me, especially 10 a.m. I know probably some people are working, or maybe they had, whatever you had to do this. I really appreciate that you guys are able to join and ask questions. And I look forward to having a great class with you guys, interacting with you, getting to know you guys more, helping you out, and helping you be successful. So I will let you guys get back to what you need to do. I'm sure we all have a busy day. And yeah, thank you again, and have a great day.